Now, one thing that I've learned on this journey of healing is that life is gonna life. Things are gonna get tough. The question that'll become important for you to answer is how will you keep going when things do get tough?
Welcome to the You Are Not Your Trauma podcast, a show that reminds you that you are not alone, your experiences matter, and you are not defined by what you've been through. Each week, you will hear from the host and invited guests who have either personal or professional experience with trauma. They will share their stories and strategies for overcoming past wounds and beginning the journey toward healing and wholeness. Now, here's your host, a gifted speaker, author, coach, and entrepreneur, Harriet M. Harris.
Hello, and welcome to the season finale of season 3 of You Are Not Your Trauma, the podcast that brings hope, healing, and inspiration to those who have experienced life's most challenging moments. I'm your host, Harriet M. Harris, and I am so glad that you're here today. I hope that this show is an important part of your healing journey. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't believe that we are already completing 3 seasons of You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. The podcast just celebrated its 1 year anniversary back on December 5th, and it's just hard to believe that we've completed 3 seasons, but here we are. And I am excited to be closing season 3 out with a message to move you into the new year. Today's episode is all about embracing the journey of healing, growth, and positive change. Now, as we approach the end of the year, it's really time for reflection and looking forward. So, I want you to go into the new year with the reminder that you are not defined by your past experiences or your traumas. You are a dynamic, evolving individual capable of incredible transformation. Today, we're going to discuss just that. We're going to talk about how to shift your thinking to see yourself not as a victim of your past, but as a courageous survivor shaping your future. We'll also talk about strategies to keep pushing forward, even when that road of life gets tough. Because remember, healing is not a linear process. It is going to be filled with ups and downs, but each step, no matter how small, is a step towards a brighter tomorrow. But before we get into all that, let's take a brief commercial break. So I want you to stick around because we will be right back.
You have every right to be successful. You have every right to be happy. You have every right to live the life you dream of. But your negative thoughts are holding you back from achieving those things, and it's time to stop listening to them. Sound familiar? If so, then this book is for you. Stop Stopping Your Success, a guided journal to break free from the negative thoughts holding you back from your dreams, is available now on Amazon and barnesandnoble.com. Or get an author autographed copy at www.stopstoppingyoursuccess.com.
Okay, we are back. Changing your mindset or shifting your thinking can open the door to new possibilities and a stronger sense of self. When we shift how we think, it's really about transforming how we perceive ourselves, moving from seeing ourselves as victims of our past to recognizing ourselves as the courageous survivors that we actually are. This shift begins by recognizing and acknowledging our negative thought patterns. We need to consciously replace these thoughts with positive affirmations or what I like to call new empowering truths. Regular practice can gradually change our mindset. Mindfulness and meditation are really powerful tools that can also help us stay present and reduce anxiety about the past or the future. Now, one thing that I've learned on this journey of healing is that life is gonna life. Things are gonna get tough. The question that'll become important for you to answer is how will you keep going when things do get tough? Because you got to keep going. When things get overwhelming, you want to have strategies in your toolbox that will help you to keep pushing forward. Now, a few ways that I've found to do this is by one, setting small, achievable goals to help break down the journey into manageable steps. Now, one way that I started doing this is with weight loss, right? Um, I used to set these big goals like, oh, I want to lose 40 pounds, right? And then I would get discouraged because I'd be a month in, you lost 10 pounds, 15 pounds, but you're just not getting to that 40 pounds. And it's like it kind of gets discouraging when you don't see that big win. So what I found was I set small goals. I say, let me do 10 pounds, so that way, even if I get up to 40 at some point, I set small goals so that I have something to celebrate. And that keeps me motivated, which leads me to step number two, or strategy number two, is to celebrate each of those small victories along the way because it helps to build confidence and keeps that motivation for going. So, again, back to my example, when I would lose 10 pounds instead of maybe not losing the 40, but going for that 10 pounds, when I lose that 10 pounds, it's something to celebrate. I may get a cheat meal or I may give myself a day off from, the workout. So making sure that there's something to celebrate along the way helps to keep that motivation. And then number three, practice gratitude daily to shift your focus from the challenges you're facing and find a way to appreciate the good stuff. So, in other words, focus on what's going right instead of what has gone wrong. It is so easy for us to focus on what goes wrong. It's honestly, for some reason, like so much easier. I don't know why, but it is. But if we focus on what has gone right or what is going right in our lives, we have this opportunity to show gratitude for those good things. And then number four, lastly, don't forget the importance of practicing self-care to help prepare yourself for the mental and physical challenges that you may face. Now, as we navigate these strategies and we start reshaping our thoughts, another aspect that naturally surfaces is the aspect of vulnerability. In our journey, especially when that road gets tough, we often encounter moments where we feel exposed or uncertain or even scared. It's in these moments when we're at our most vulnerable that we also find our greatest strength. One thing about life is that, we're going to have challenges, right? So those challenges not only test our resilience, but it also opens us up to a deeper understanding of ourselves. It's in those moments of vulnerability that we truly connect with the core of who we are. Embracing this vulnerability isn't about weakness. A lot of people think that, if you're vulnerable, you're weak, but it's not. It's really about courage. It's about having the courage to acknowledge our fears, our doubts, our struggles, and still saying, I am here, I am fighting, and I am growing. Now, this process of embracing vulnerability might start with just a simple step like sharing a part of your story with a trusted friend, or even writing down your feelings in a journal. I found that to be most helpful when I can write out things, write out my feelings and my emotions, because it allows me to truly be honest with myself. it's really going to be about that vulnerability is really going to be about being honest with where you are at this moment. And let me tell you, it is not always easy to be vulnerable, not even with ourselves, but that's where it must start. Because if we aren't able to be vulnerable with ourselves, then we will never be able to truly be vulnerable with other people. For years, I personally thought that I was this super vulnerable person. Um, but I had a hard realization that I wasn't even being vulnerable with myself. I wasn't allowing myself to truly feel my feelings or really being truthful about to myself about what I was afraid of and what fears I had. Now, it was a hard to process. I spent weeks like journaling through and uncovering fears and being honest and open with myself. And that helped me to begin to come to terms with my true, authentic self and the feelings and emotions that I'd held so close that I wasn't able to verbalize for so long. And that was okay. I had to realize that it was okay to feel that. It was okay to, not just say, oh, I'm okay. It's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to have days when you feel like you're just surviving. What's most important is allowing yourself to feel, to be real with your emotions, and to understand that this too is a part of healing. And as we begin to open up and we embrace our vulnerabilities, we also open the door to deeper connection with others. We realize that we are not alone in our struggles, that there are others who have walked similar paths as us, who have faced similar traumas, and who are willing to stand with us and support us and grow with us. That is the beauty of vulnerability. It connects us, it humanizes us, and it empowers us. By being vulnerable, we not only help ourselves, but we also give others the permission to be open and honest about their own journeys. It's a powerful thing to be vulnerable and to be real. It is definitely a strength and not a weakness. So, as we continue on this path of healing and growth, be sure not to like walk away or shy away from those moments of vulnerability. Instead, embrace them as opportunities for deeper understanding, opportunities for connection, opportunities for growth. Let's see them as essential parts of our journey towards becoming stronger, more resilient versions of ourselves. Believe it or not, connection with others plays a significant role in our healing process because as we embrace those vulnerabilities, it naturally leads us to seek out others who can empathize with our experiences. It's in these shared experiences that we find a sense of belonging, a feeling of being understood, and a realization that we're not navigating these waters alone. I know from my personal experience that being isolated is what made me feel like, that I was misunderstood, that I was the only person that was going through these things, that it was just me that was going through the similar situation, like the certain situations. And, somehow I was, feeling singled out because I isolated myself. I felt alone. But what I have found since is that when we share our stories and we listen to others, there's an exchange of empathy, of understanding, and of encouragement. It's like each story, each experience shows us that we're part of something bigger, something filled with diverse yet interconnected journeys. These connections also often help us find unexpected insights and perspectives that can guide us on our own path. There's nothing like coming across someone who has experienced something similar to us and seeing how they dealt with it. While it may not be the exact resolution for us, but seeing those different perspectives is so helpful. And that's something that I found in my own personal journey. Sometimes a simple conversation can offer a new angle on a challenge that we're facing, or a shared story can light up a part of our journey that seemed dark. In this shared space, we're not only giving support, but we're also receiving it, often in ways that we didn't even know that we actually needed. So let us not look or overlook the power and importance of community, because our healing and growth grow when we share with others. I personally believe that, we can help others when we share our lived experiences. It's in our togetherness that we find not only healing, but also a profound sense of hope and possibility. If you think about it, in life, like every step that you take on on this journey of healing, every vulnerability that you embrace, every connection you make, it adds a layer to your own personal story of healing. You are not just rewriting your narrative, you're also contributing to a collective story of resilience and hope, and helping other people rewrite their narratives as well. So, as we come to a close for this season 3 of You Are Not Your Trauma, let's carry this sense of connection and community into the new year. Let it be a source of strength, a source of inspiration, and a source of comfort as we continue to navigate our paths. Now, before we wrap up, we're going to take one last short break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We are on an incredible journey together, sharing stories of resilience, hope, and the power of healing. To extend the reach and impact of the You Are Not Your Trauma movement, we've launched the Give 5 to Change Lives campaign. With just $5, you can contribute to developing invaluable resources like our upcoming You Are Not Your Trauma app, healing journal, and expanded podcast content. Every dollar and every share contributes to helping bring healing and hope to more people. We invite you to join this movement. Visit giving.youarenotyourtrauma.com to contribute. Together, we can change lives one heart at a time.
Okay, we are back. Now, again, we are wrapping up season 3 of You Are Not Your Trauma. And as we do that, I am thrilled to announce that the You Are Not Your Trauma app is launching soon. It is a space for connection, support, and growth. Now, it has been my dream and desire to create a space to continue the conversation and create community for those who are on their healing journey. This platform is a safe space for you to connect with others who share similar journeys, to find support, to get encouragement, and most importantly, for community. The app also provides access to additional guidance and resources tailored to your healing journey. It will be available in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. So to get notified when that app officially launches, be sure to go to notifyme.youarenotyourtrauma.com, and you'll be able to find that link in the show notes. So be sure to check it out there. Now, if you're looking for continuous inspiration, don't forget to check out the You Are Not Your Trauma resource guide, which is packed with additional resources to keep you inspired on your journey. You can download your free copy at resourceguide.youarenotyourtrauma.com, and that link will also be available in the show notes. Again, we are wrapping up season 3, and I just want to leave you with this reminder. Each step forward in our healing journey is a step away from our past shadows, illuminating the path of self-discovery and strength. You are that path. of light. It is not your past that defines you, but your strength, your courage, and your resilience. So let's step into this new year, 2024, with hope, with determination, and the knowledge that you are not alone in this journey. Together, we can heal, grow, and transform. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one small step that you're taking towards your healing journey in the new year? Share it with us on social media using hashtag #MyHealingStep, and be sure to tag You Are Not Your Trauma podcast on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. I look forward to your inspiring stories. Thank you again to each and every person for tuning in to this week's episode of You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, please don't forget to share it with someone who can benefit from the information shared. Also, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show. Check out the website, www.youarenotyourtrauma.com, to leave feedback, request to be a guest on the show, subscribe to the show, get information on show guests, or to get information about advertising on You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. Connect with You Are Not Your Trauma podcast on Facebook and Instagram at You Are Not Your Trauma podcast. And if you have a story to share, please email me at contact@harrietmharris.com. Thank you so much for being a part of the You Are Not Your Trauma community. Stay tuned for even more impact in season 4. Until next time, keep healing and embracing every step of your journey. And please remember, you are not your trauma.